Okay, let's dive right in. We're not here for an abstract science lesson. We're here to talk about a fundamental shift in drug discovery, something that represents your next major competitive advantage, the silicon cell.
Think about that for a second. The preclinical phase. It's one of the most expensive, highest failure parts of your entire pipeline. So what if you could de-risk your portfolio and slash those costs, not just by a little, but by orders of magnitude? That is the core business proposition we are exploring today. So, here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with the core challenge, then look at the technological leap that's making all this possible. We'll walk through a real-world proof of concept, take a clear-eyed look at the current landscape, and finally, talk about the strategic imperative for your business. First things first, let's define the battlefield. Drug discovery is so unbelievably expensive for one big reason. You're going up against the most complex machine in the known universe. Every single target you pursue, every therapy you develop, it's an attempt to intervene in a system of just staggering complexity. And that complexity is directly tied to your R&D spend and your timeline to get to market. Just to put some numbers on it, we're talking about 42 million proteins inside this frenzied chemical lab where thousands of genes are flipping on and off every second. Trying to predict what a single compound will do in that environment using traditional lab methods, it's like trying to solve a hurricane with a spreadsheet. It's slow, it's costly, and it fails a lot. For decades, we've tried to build models to understand all this complexity. But what we're seeing right now, this isn't just another small step. It's a massive leap from slow, rigid calculations to dynamic learning systems. And that, right there, is the game changer. You know, this timeline tells a really interesting story about return on investment. For about 25 years, progress was just slow. Even as recently as 2022, simulating just 20 minutes of a cell's life took 10 hours of expensive computer time. That is not a scalable solution for high-throughput screening. But today's AI models, they change the entire economic equation because they learn biology from the data itself. So here's the crucial difference. The old models couldn't learn. They were totally locked into the biological rules we already knew. And as one computational biologist put it, they completely failed at predicting really important things, like what happens when you silence a gene. The new AI models, though, they can actually uncover brand new biology from your data, making predictions that were simply impossible before. All right, enough with the abstract. Let's look at a concrete case study. This isn't theoretical. This is being put into practice right now to solve real R&D problems. A team at the Gladstone Institutes took on a huge challenge, finding new ways to treat cardiomyopathy. You know, the disease where the heart muscle gets weak. This is exactly the kind of complex problem that can bog down a discovery pipeline for years. This slide shows the new workflow perfectly. They trained an AI called Geneformer on a massive dataset of 30 million cells. The AI didn't just analyze the data, it made new predictions about which genes to target. And here is the key step, the part every pharma leader should see. They went back to the lab, tested the AI's predictions, and they were right. The virtual cells hypothesis was proven correct in a physical one. The lab-grown heart cells got stronger. That is how you accelerate discovery. And like computational biologist Christina Theodoris said, this isn't about replacing your labs. It's about making them exponentially more efficient. It points your scientists in the right direction, way faster. What we're witnessing here is exactly what the industry has been waiting for. This is the ChatGPT moment for biology. It's a foundational technology that can understand and generate novel biological insights, completely changing how we even approach R&D. Now, as with any huge technological shift, it is absolutely crucial to have a realistic, clear-eyed view of where things are today. So let's separate the long-term vision from the current reality. The ultimate goal, the dream, is what Fabian Theis calls one model that rules them all, a true digital twin of a human cell. No, we are not there yet. But every single step we're taking now is getting us closer to that incredibly powerful destination. So these are the strategic challenges to be aware of. These models are hungry for data. We need more of it, and it needs to be standardized, centralized, and diverse. And as an industry, we're still figuring out the best ways to even measure success. But these aren't reasons to wait on the sidelines. These are the areas where the early adopters can build a huge competitive advantage by investing in their data strategy right now. So let's bring this all together. Because, understanding the technology is one thing, but acting on its potential, that's what is going to define the next generation of industry leaders. So what is the bottom line advantage for your company? Well, it's the ability to screen thousands of compounds digitally, saving millions of dollars in years of wet lab work. It's the power to finally unlock personalized medicine by building virtual cells based on a single patient's biology. It's about turning all your siloed data into an integrated, predictive map of knowledge. And ultimately, it's about speed, efficiency, and a decisive, powerful lead over your competitors.
This technology is not science fiction anymore. The foundational pieces are in place. The early results are compelling, so the only question left is a strategic one. Will you build this capability to lead the next era of medicine, or will you risk being left behind?